This is Gabriel Gonzalez for Cage Side Press here with the PFL light heavyweight who's going to be part of the regular season once again, Josh Silveira, who takes on Sadibou Sy on April 12th in Las Vegas. Josh, look, obviously, first fight of the season. I always imagine kind of like any season opener, everyone starts the season with a level of enthusiasm. Obviously, there's a level of optimism and hopefulness. Is that fair to say, even for obviously a very tough game like mixed martial arts?
Yeah, mixed martial arts, I think that's what makes the sport so exciting today. It's such a growing sport. Um, those matchups, what's gonna happen, what's this, that, you're in there by yourself. Especially with PFL, when you see the guys that are in the tournament, who's gonna get matched up with who. I think there's no organization that does it like that. So I think with MMA, you just never know, you know? You just never know.
Now, the nice thing is obviously everyone starts over at zero in terms of the points in the sorry, points in regular season. It's a little cold over here. But everyone starts at zero. When you start thinking about that, I mean, how does one even approach a season as a professional fighter? Is it about, hey, just gotta take my time, be methodical, or when the cage door closes, do you have to honestly forget about all those things and just, hey, if I need to get into a war, that's just what I got to do tonight, and I can't worry about the future.
Yeah, I think when you're in the cage, um, you know, um do what you got to do, man. Worry about all that other crap later. I tell all the fighters, especially at a great gym like American Top Team, we have a lot of big names. Everyone's pretty mature in a sense of, I want to get paid. I need to get to the fight. So we take care of each other in terms of fight camp. Especially, we're fighting in April. Hopefully I get to November like last year, or whenever the finals is. And it's a 7 to 8 month long season. You got to respect your body. You got to respect that every day is not going to be the greatest day, but you got to get up and be responsible. Now, when you get into the octagon or the smart cage, um, the, all that responsibility goes out the window. If you break a hand, you break a hand. If you get cut, you get cut. If you deal with little things, there is the time where you can't think about it, and go one fight at a time. PFL is such an interesting season. We've seen a lot of moments happen where guys are coming in and out. One guy gets hurt, the sub comes in. So you just gotta have to believe in your team, believe in your ability, and obviously go in there to get the fight as finished, fast as possible. But sometimes you go to war, man, and for sure enjoy it and have fun, and we don't do this forever, right? So one day we're gonna have to hang up the gloves and what are you going to tell yourself when you're an old guy about a fight that you've had? I want to tell myself, hey, that was a hell of a time.
Week to week, can I ask, because of the season format, do you ever get too invested in, oh, I hope they give me this guy, that guy? Maybe I would love to be the guy to take him out. I would love to run it back with a guy like Impa, like, do you get too invested in that, or do you just like, you know what? Don't even worry about it, because PFL makes those decisions, not me.
Yeah, so I think that's what makes the PFL uh such a different type of organization. I think my first year when I got into the PFL, I was kind of heavily like that. This would be a good matchup. This would be a good matchup. And as time got, as more time in doing these seasons, um, you realize that um, you're gonna have to fight. There's no if, ands, or but. If you don't want to fight, there's a substitute right there that's gonna take your spot like that. They're gonna do it. Everybody wants that opportunity. I see it as a benefit. There's a list of guys. I know these guys. I see them on I see their picture. I see the poster. I see the names out there, and I see it as a beneficial. These are the guys that are gonna be side by side, I guess you could say, for the next 7 to 8 months. So we work, we try to figure out what's the best for us. Obviously, matchups what makes fights. Going back to Impa, of course, I would love to fight Impa again, get that one back. But this is a new season. He was the champ last season. I learned a lot, and that's the beauty about this season type of tournament. We could come back and try it all over again.
I want to ask you about a few other things around your buddy and or teammate Antonio Carlos Jr., also an ATT guy. He let me know, between you guys and the UFC event happening the next night, there's quite the contingent from American Top Team coming in this weekend. I'm wondering for you, how's that feeling like? Because I have to imagine people are going to be arriving at the same time. A lot of coaches are going to be around. Just what's the vibe right about now?
It's a great vibe, man. We got Kayla Harrison and Armand that's gonna fight the next day. We got me, Zapato, Devlet. We got JJ Wilson, who's fighting earlier in the card. If I'm missing any names, I'm sorry, but ATT's like that, man. We have stacked fighters. There's a reason why we get the best gym of the year award. Not just because we're a big gym and we got big names, because if you look at these cards, man, if ATT disappeared today, we would have an issue. Organizations would have an issue on who's gonna fill in these spots, and the fight world is it's not just uh you know having a funny, enjoyable time. No, sometimes you're gonna have to get in those 2 week notices, a week notices, and some of these guys at other gyms, they don't want to be a victim of the ass whooping or possible ass whooping. Here at ATT, man, we're always ready to go, and I think that's why these organizations reach out to us a lot, because we have guys that are just straight killers, and we'll have these weekends like this where Friday is ATT, basically on the card, and Saturday we got some very important fights. And I think that's what make us such a dominant and proud team. I'm very proud to fight for American Top Team.
Obviously, when the season kicks off, do you have that conversation with Shoeface? Like, hey, bro, you and me at the end, or do you guys maybe avoid each other a bit just out of like, maybe a little awkwardness? What's that whole deal with you two?
Yeah, so we talk about like if we were to fight each other, the finals would be, epic, and it would be the most enjoyable. But that's not our choice, obviously. But I was training with Shoeface when he was in the UFC, before I was even professional. I was still an amateur fighter. So I've helped him tons and time again, for many of other fights. And for this camp, we actually, in the grappling department, because I'm not his opponent's like 6'5". um I think his opponent's not southpaw, he's an orthodox fighter, so I'm not going to be any use in the sense of the stand-up part. But grappling part, we train them with each other a lot, and in the sense of that, we know that this is a long season and we got to take care of each other, and not get hurt, right? We got to get to the fight. That's I think that's number one thing fighters should and do think about. I need to get to this fight. Maybe I could have done this or that, whatever. But when fight night, I need to get there at the best possible health I can, and I got to take care of my partners, because we all want to get paid. We want to have something to show for at the end of our career.
Absolutely, completely get that. I got two more for you as we round home. The PFL versus Bellator pay-per-view. People came out of that saying, man, Bellator ran the table. I am aware you're not fighting a Bellator guy. I do expect you will at some point this year, if I'm being honest. But I want to ask for you, because I've asked a few of the guys this. Do you feel like there is a bit of that locker room mentality that, like, you know what? This is our house. PFL got to get a few of these back at some point. Do you feel any of that momentum personally?
Yeah, I do feel that. And if you look at it as like, who's been around, longer, Bellator's been around for a long time. They have a huge roster. Um, and I look forward to fighting a Bellator guy, if that moment happens. I really like the merge in the sense of more eyes, and I think Everyone's gonna have something to say, whether that was a crappy buy, or that PFL's trying too hard, or people are gonna look forward to it and say, man, this is exactly what we want. We want to see organizations kind of merge so we could see these matchups that probably wouldn't happen because of contracts and things like that. So I think this is super exciting. Um, and if to answer your question, yeah, maybe I do got a little chip on my shoulder, and I want to represent the PFL. They've helped me a lot with my career, and of course, at the end of the year when the PFL versus Bellator guys, of course, Team PFL. But
Mhm.
overall, we're all fighters. We all got families and things like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
And of course, the irony, there's so many people who did get a PFL versus Bellator matchup. You got quite the interesting one, obviously welcoming 2022 champion Sadibou Sy to light heavyweight. This is a pretty big jump. How different do you expect him to be compared to what we've obviously gotten familiar with from him?
So, in my mind, like I for any fight, I expect the baddest, meanest guy, the most prepared ever guy, and I go in there and if I'm ready for that guy. If not, cool, awesome for me. Obviously he's jumping weights. But a punch to the face, a kick to the face, that roundhouse kick, I think it all hurts the same way. It all could affect the same way. Obviously, he's gonna be feeling good. I'm assuming he's doing this because he's tired of losing an arm or losing a leg trying to make weight. He's tall. I've stood next to him before. He has the frame. He's athletic. He's fought middleweight before. I think that would be the way he would choose to fight if PFL had middleweight. So in my mind, I, he's a middleweight guy moving up to light heavyweight. And you could say that about me. You could say that about Impa. You could say that about Alex Polizia. There's probably three or four legitimate light heavyweight guys that probably can't make the middleweight division. A lot of the other guys like myself, if PFL made a middleweight tournament, I would have to talk to my team about it, but I could see myself making that way. I don't have the biggest frame compared to a guy like Phil Davis or Robert Wilkinson or something like that, but I think we're just gonna have to see, man. But I think I want to welcome Sadibou to the light heavyweight division and put some of this weight on him. Why not?
I mean, Josh, I'm looking forward to it. I think a lot of fans are. I'm glad that they put you guys on a good spot on the card. And yeah, really just best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Silveira taking on Sadibou Sy, April 12th in Las Vegas, PFL regular season, biggest weekend probably in mixed martial arts. Guys don't want to miss it.